Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bragaton. Let's shop. I forgot to check Wilser's shop for a bag of holding. I know he sells one. The bag of holding opens into a non-dimensional space. Its inside is way larger than its outside dimensions. Regardless of what is put into the bag, its weight doesn't change. This allows the party to carry additional 200 pounds of weight without suffering any negative consequences. And we'll gladly take that. Alright, Torag's Rab. Whenever this +2 Radiant Dwarven Urgrosh confirms a critical hit, it deals additional 46 holy damage. Nature's Agony. This +3 Sling Staff is imbued with Nature's Agony. Whenever the wielder enters combat, the weapon shrieks and creaks. All enemies within a 30-foot range have to pass a will saving throw DC 23, or suffer 3d6 sonic damage for 1d4 rounds. This weapon also adds +2 to the DC for all saving throws against spells with Sonic Descriptor the wielder casts. Mighty Blow of Good. This weapon is a +2 Evil Outsider Bane Vouchered. If the wielder of this weapon has a good alignment, this Vouchered grants him a +3 bonus on damage rolls against non-good creatures and becomes good aligned. That's pretty good. It's a shame that Woljif, who's going to be using Vouchereds, is not good aligned. So I don't think the blacksmith sells any uniques. But I could be wrong. Yeah, it's not the same inventory as from the camp. Alright, the Dissector. This +3 Bardiche deals additional 2d6 slashing damage on hit against bleeding or helpless enemies. Touch of Flaw. Whenever this +3 Battle Axe lands a hit on an enemy, the enemy must pass a reflex saving throw DC 20, or suffer a -1 penalty to attack rolls until the end of combat. This penalty stacks up to -5. Call of the Ocean. This +3 Trident grants the wielder an ability to summon a large water elemental once per day as a as a 11 level druid? Usually says it the other way around. Or it adds the suffix. It's a 11th level druid. Half Plate of Will. This +2 half plate grants its wearer a +3 resistance bonus on will saving throws. That's pretty good. Powerful Pummel. Whenever this +3 Earthbreaker confirms a critical hit, all creatures in a 10-foot range have to pass a Fortitude saving throw DC 23. When we push away for 10 feet and become prone for 1 round. We're going to buy this. Though, it could be detrimental. Luminous Encouragement. Whenever this +2 Light Mace confirms a critical hit on an enemy, the enemy suffers an additional 3d4 positive energy damage. If the enemy is killed, the wielder gets +2 bonus to attack rolls for the next 2 rounds. Tight Grip of Anguish. Whenever this +3 Shock Short Spear confirms a critical hit on an enemy, the enemy must pass a Fortitude saving throw DC 22. If the saving throw is failed, for the next 1d3 rounds, whenever this creature is dealt damage, it suffers an additional 1 piercing damage. Multiple applications of this effect do not stack the additional damage, but prolong the effect. The Ancient Root. Whenever the wielder of this +3 Caustic Club kills an enemy, it summons a huge earth elemental for 2d3 rounds. Mantis Favor. Whenever the wielder of this +3 Keen Sawtooth Saber confirms a critical hit with it, it restores 2d8 +5 hit points to the wielder. If the wielder is a follower of Achekek, confirming a critical hit additionally grants them immunity to critical hits for 1 round.
I'm gone.
I've read that before.
We do it my way.
Oh, the Jewelry Trader. A Glass Amulet of Clarity. It's Stimulate adds +2 to the DC for all saving throws against mind-affecting abilities used by the wielder. It also grants a +4 morale bonus on saving throws against mind-affecting and compulsion effects. That's pretty good. We are through Leper's Smile, so it's not as valuable, but there is at least one more pretty nasty area we have to go through where we have to deal with mind-affecting and compulsion effects. Limiting Leadership. This ring grants the wearer a +5 competence bonus on persuasion checks, and grants their companions a +1 morale bonus on all skill checks. I'm going to grab that as well. Goggles of Pure Sight. These goggles allow the wearer to take 20 on their next Dispel Magic attempt once per day. They also grant a +1 bonus to caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. Mindmaster's Eyes. These glasses increase the save DCs of enchantment spells cast by the wearer by 2. Both of these are pretty good. In fact, let's go ahead and buy both of those. We're practically broke now. At least one casting of Dispel Magic just to get use out of the goggles that we just picked up. Alright, the Arcane Weaver. A source of Dividing Power. Whenever the wearer of this robe uses a Divine Power to summon a creature, they choose to give these creatures attacks either holy or unholy special quality. A Shard of Blazing Fighter. Shard grants the wearer a +5 competence bonus to athletic skill checks and fire resistance 30, which is pretty good and could come in handy with a quest we already have. Hunt down the dragon. Gloves of the Ambassador. These gloves grant the wearer a +5 competence bonus to Knowledge World and a +5 competence bonus to Persuasion skill checks, and a +2 enhancement bonus to Charisma. I'd like to have that. Oh, the Oppressor's gloves are better, since I'm going for an Intimidate check, or build. But well... It's all Persuasion skill checks, including Intimidate. Yeah, Gloves of the Ambassador are better. I see Intimidate and I just tunnel vision on it. A Lesser Gloves of Dueling. These gloves grant their wearer a +1 bonus to CMD against disarm attempts. If the wearer has the weapon training ability and is wielding a weapon, it gives a bonus to... That bonus increases by +1. Gloves of Dueling. These gloves grant their wearer a +4 bonus to CMD against disarm attempts. If the wearer has a weapon training ability and is wielding a weapon, it gives a bonus to... That bonus increases by +2. Yeah, I just misread the other one. It makes sense. Alright, Celestial Protection. This cloak grants the wearer a +5 resistance bonus on saving throws against demons, and a +5 competence bonus on low religion skill checks. You mostly fight demons, this is pretty good. It is essentially a Cloak of Resistance +5, which you don't get till much later. A Robe of Order. If the wearer of this robe has a key pool, the robe increases it by 2. If the wearer is of lawful alignment, it grants a +2 bonus on attack rolls against chaotic enemies. This robe can only be worn by a monk. Or can be worn only by a monk. It can be only worn. Braces of Animal Fury. These braces grant the wearer a +3 enhancement bonus on attack and damage rolls whenever the wearer is polymorphed. So obviously good for Ulbrich. A Thick Pelt Cloak. This cloak of resistance +2 grants the wearer immunity to fire. Living Flame. Whenever the wearer of this cloak channels energy to harm undead, in the next 2 rounds they become surrounded with a fire shield that deals 1d6 plus character level fire damage to the attackers for each successful melee attack against the wearer. Then some scrolls. Yeah, we'll come back and buy more stuff later. You know what? Darren asks, not bothering to greet you properly. I noticed a certain cyclical pattern in my life ever since I met you. First, something happens that leaves me positively intrigued. Then I descend into the depths of fear and anger. Then I start to think that it's not so bad. The curiosity comes back, and then something even more dreadful occurs. The demons attacking my home, and the city around it, was unpleasant enough already. I thought I could compensate for that by striking up a curious acquaintance and having some new experiences. Then my dearest cousin threw me right into the middle of a crusade. Just when I started to see some positives in my current situation, the gargoyles kidnapped me. The slaughter in Dresden following my triumphant rescue effectively put out every spark of optimism that I had managed to gather. Now the city is in our hands again, and it's getting more and more tolerable to stay here. I feel surprisingly good. I'm even beginning to find the city rather enjoyable. This brings one very reasonable question to my mind. What is the next outrageous and dangerous mess you're going to pull me into? I have a couple more perilous trials and insurmountable challenges in store just for you. Does this list include the ordeal known as the Trial of the Cold Oatmeal? If not, then there's nothing to be afraid of. If you think I've just shown you my weak spot, then you're wrong. It was deliberate misinformation.
Follow if you dare.
Hi, Prodigal Sons. It's done, I said. Milliken studied me with narrowed eyes. You look awfully clean, he said. Where's the knife? In answer, the first shouts went up from the inn. Fire, screamed Elna, and then other voices joined hers. In an instant, Milliken's entrepreneurial instincts took over, and he sprang for the door, tossing the crossbow aside. Outside, the roof of the inn was already smoking oily black against the sunset, flame licking through the thatching in places. With a scream of pain, Milliken ran for the creek. I looked to Vargas. Needing no further cue, we each grabbed up armfuls of supplies and sprinted off in the opposite direction. After 10 minutes of leaped brambles and ducked branches, we stopped to catch our breath. Back the way we'd come, the smoke was still visible, though the sounds had faded to just the faint and frantic pealing of a church bell. That was close, Vargas said, leaning against a tree and breathing hard. Agreed, I puffed, staring down at the cloak full of bread that now made up our sole possessions. Then the sound of the bell reminded me of something. About what you said back there, I asked. You said Shaylin. I thought you were a priest of Desna. Vargas grunted. A man's faith is a personal thing, he said, tying up the cloak. Now shut up and keep running. And we did.
I'm off. I do what I must. I'm gone.
Hi, welcome to the shop of Derek Sunhammer, the finest jewelry in all of Mendev. True artistry, crafted by the master himself and his apprentices. Take a look. Show me where is Golem.
We do it my way.
Oh, I have to go. I'll listen to our special offer. Alright, what's the offer? Don't leave without making a purchase or even two. Pieces bought at the shop of Master Jeweler Derek Sunhammer will please even the most discerning eye. The colors of the dawn, the delicate curve of a rosebud. They are fleeting. Our jewelry is eternal. Make beauty your constant companion. I have to go. We have a very good special offer. You're denying yourself the immeasurable joy of possessing a true work of art. You feel no remorse for offending a wonderful golem such as myself. Ollie, I've seen that before. Bit of a pushy salesman.
Follow if you dare.
Alright, the one-eyed devil. A short, chubby tiefling, with a golden eye patch spits chewing tobacco between his feet. Takes another pinch from a tobacco box adorned with jewels. A fine day to you, Commander. Welcome to the One-Eyed Devil's Trading House. His proud manner suggests that each word begins with a capital letter, perhaps even continues in capital letters as well. A trading house. It's just a shop. Ah, that depends. There was a time when I had nothing in my pockets but holes, but that I considered myself poor. No. I considered myself a rich man who was temporarily down on his luck. Optimism is important not only on the battlefield, Commander. You're the leader of a victorious army that'll be chopping all the demons into mincemeat sooner or later. I'm the owner of a trade empire, which, as you see, is only starting to grow. How did a tiefling end up on this side of the Crusaders? The answer is simple. The simplest thing there is. This is a good world, and I like living in it. Besides, it's the only one we've got. I love to know what's going on in the heads of the dimwits who are helping the demons destroy it. My best guess is that their horns grew inward, so there's no room for brains. I'm from Cheliax. Tieflings don't surprise anyone there, and they don't like demons any more than we do here. And why should they? The gods went to all the trouble of creating this world. Even Lord Asmodeus and his devils helped with the construction. And now these freeloaders show up after all the hard work is done, just to gorge and break things. It doesn't matter who you pray to. If you want to live, it's your duty to help. Isn't that a risky name for a store for Crusaders? Ah yes, a week doesn't go by without some dimwit boiling over. Well, they don't pay me to explain the difference between allies and enemies, devils and demons, Lord Asmodeus and all the riffraff like Baphomet and Discari, so they can go hang. The tiefling spits between his feet, and swiftly places another pinch of chewing tobacco in his mouth. Here's what I think. You like it, you buy it. You don't like it, keep moving. You're spoiling for a fight. Take yourself off to the tavern. Why are your prices so high? We're saving the world from demons, and that includes you. That's some claim. Did you hear that, good people? First of all, my prices are perfectly fair. They're no higher than you'd find anywhere else. Second, who's saving who here? Are you prepared to eat bark and fight with rocks and sticks? You know, I have open contracts with dozens of suppliers. I arrange deliveries and do whatever it takes to get you sharper weapons, better magical items, better food. You're throwing the extra expense in my face. This is the thanks I get for honest work. What happened to your eye? Heh. Should I make up a story about a heroic fight with a horde of demons? Truth be told, this is how it happened. Back when I was a snot-nosed kid, I just opened my first business selling pies on the street. The local lads quickly took notice of me, and offered me protection in return for a small share of profits. The usual, you know? But I was so young, inexperienced, and greedy, I told them to bugger off. Well, they caught me and taught me a lesson. They took it too far, though. I paid for the lesson with my eye, not just bumps and bruises. It's funny to remember it now, but back then while it was happening, I was so scared. I thought they'd beat me to death. I remember I came running home in tears. My mom just started screaming. I didn't have a clue why. Then I looked in the mirror and saw that there were just shreds and mush where one of my eyes should be. I've remembered that lesson all my life. Ever since that day, when I start a business, I find some reliable business partners first. If I'd been born in a merchant family, my parents would have warned me about this, about plenty of other things too. But I was a poor lad, so I had to learn everything the hard way. It's a miracle how many times I escaped death by a hair's breadth. In fact, it's lucky all I lost was one eye. I can afford a new eye now, of course, but you know, I just can't find the time. It'll cost a tidy sum, and I don't want to take it out of the earnings. And besides, being the one-eyed devil is a big selling point for me. I'd be a fool to get my eye back, only to have to keep it hidden under a patch. Have you heard about my new powers? What do you make of them? Yeah, I've heard all about them. What's there to say? You haven't been dealt a great hand, though it's hardly the worst. Being an angel is a burdensome thing. It's too airy-fairy for my liking. All that sympathy and compassion. What does a commander need all that for? It's pointless. But don't worry about it. I'm not judging you. Asmodeus, forgive me, but if you had the power of a Fae or an Azada, that would be a disaster. Show me your wares. Alright, the Infiltrator's armor. This +2 leather armor grants +5 competence bonus on stealth skill checks. Alright, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna call it here. Next time we'll continue exploring Dresden. We have the tavern, the prison, the inn, the barracks, a few companions to talk to, and at least one more NPC. I went past Horgus, so we'll actually start with Horgus next time. A couple of houses down here. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.